श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपार करुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्।
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। कृपासमुद्रं समुखं त्रिनेत्रं जटाधरं पार्वतीवामभागं सदाशिवं रुद्रमनन्तरूपं चिदम्बरेशं हृदि भावयामि। Today is the very auspicious Ardra Darshanam day when Shivakama Sundari and Nataraja are worshipped in a special darshan. At Chidambaram, the Abhisheka starts early in the morning at 3 o'clock and goes on for more than 3 hours. And then the Alankara goes on for another 2-3 hours. And then the darshan takes place at about noon time. Nataraja comes from the 1,000-pillared Mandapam down the steps. When he comes down the steps, he executes a beautiful dance. And then he goes back to his Chitsabha, Sasthana. Chidambaram is perhaps the only big kshetra where the Moola Murti, who is like a Utsava Murti, comes out and then gives darshan on the road. Yesterday was Rathotstava. So let us pray to Shivakama Sundari Sameta Nataraja today. With the blessings of, abundant blessings of Acharya Swamiji, we have completed more than a month of continuous lectures of Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada Stotras in the series Vande GurorMandalam. Now we are on shloka number 16 of Saundarya Lahari.
कवीन्द्राणां चेतः कमलवनबालातपरुचिं भजन्ते ये सन्तः कतिचिदरुणामेव भवतीं विरिञ्चिप्रेयस्याः तरुणतरशृङ्गारलहरी गभीराभिर्वाग्भिः विदधति सतां रञ्जनममी.
Now the last shloka was on Saraswata Prayoga, the white form of Saraswati, Shuddha Tattva form. Now here, Shuddha Tattva combined with Rajoguna. That is why this is Aruna, form of Aruna, because Tattva is white in color, Rajoguna is red in color, and Tamoguna is black in color. So when Rajoguna has mixed up with Tattva, it becomes reddish. So that is the form of Aruna. Aruna means red color. Now, what happens when we pray to Aruna Devi? Kavindranam chetaha kamalavana bala taparutim bhajante ye santaha katichit arunameva bhavatim. Arunameva bhavatim. When they worship you as Aruna, Kavindranam chetaha, the minds of the greatest of poets, Kamalavana Bala Taparucham, for those minds which are like the forest of lotuses, the minds are compared to forest of lotuses because the poets come out with several types of kavyas. Each has got several rasas, etc. So that is why there is a forest of lotuses, not one lotus. Kamalavana. In their mind, because it is the mind which produces the poetry, isn't it? Kamalavana Bala Atapa Rucham, Bala Atapa is Surya. So the rising sun, the radiance, which is radiance of the rising sun, radiance of the young sun is what Aruna is about. Bala Atapa Rucham Arunam. Bhajante ye santaha, those santas, those saints who worship you as Aruna, who is shedding the young sun's red colored light in the lotus forest of the illustrious poets, for them what happens? Virinchi preyasyaha tarunatara shringara lahari gabira bhir vagbhihi vedadhati satam ranjanam ami. Ami means these poets. When they worship you, these poets create poems. What kind of poems? Virinchi preyasyaha. Virinchi preyasi is Saraswati, the beloved of Virinchi, that is Brahma, that is Saraswati. Tarunatara Shringara Lahari. Now, the last time when we worshipped Saraswati as Shuddha Sattva Swarupa in white form, she stands for pure Jnana. Here it stands for Jnana, no doubt, but mixed with Shringara, that is why the Taruna. So Shringara has assumed a dominant position here. Tarunatara Shringara Laharim, the beauty of erotic. Tarunatara, Taruna is young. Tarunatara, very young. That means very youthful. Very youthful wave of Shringara is there in the poems. Gabhira, Bhihi, Vagbhihi, those words, those expressions are profound. Gabhira means Gambhira, Gabhira means profound. The ocean is supposed to be Gambhira because it is the deepest. So that kind of expressions with deep meaning, with profound meaning, at the same time, with full of waves of Shringara, youthful waves of Shringara, blessed by no less a devata than Saraswati, beloved of Brahma, Ami Vidadhati, these people, these saints who have worshipped Aruna Devi are able to give you, Vidadhati means they produce these kinds of expressions. Satam Ranjanam Vidadhati, through those words, Vagbhihi, through those words, they produce entertainment for the virtuous. They produce entertainment, Ranjanam. So when they sing a poem in a sabha, in an assembly of intellectuals, now all those intellectuals and virtuous people applaud the Kavi, isn't it? So they get entertained and they applaud the Kavi. So that is what is mentioned here. Satam Ranjanam Vidadhati. They provide entertainment to the virtuous people, to the intellectuals, through words which are profound in meaning and which are suffused with the waves of Shringara, youthful Shringara, blessed by Saraswati Devi, the beloved of Brahma. Who are those saints? Those who have worshipped you as Aruna Devi, who is shedding the young sun, the rising sun's red colored shine on the forest of lotuses in the minds of the greatest of poets. That kind of Aruna Devi, that form of Aruna Devi, these saints worship, these santas worship. Now, the form of Aruna Devi is not mentioned in this sloka, but it is mentioned in Vamakeshwara Tantram. We saw the form of Saraswati, Mahasaraswati Devi in the last slokam with 4 hands. Now, those 4 hands are repeated here, that is Varahasta, Abhayahasta, Pustaka, and Statikamala. These were the 4, and those 4 are here also. Plus another 4 hands are the total 8 hands. The other 4 are like Tripura Sundari, Pasha, Ankusha, Ikshu Chapa, and Pushpabana. Pasha, Ankusha, Ikshu Chapa, and Pushpabana are the 4 we associate with Tripura Sundari, Kamakshi, and those 4 are here also because she is Aruna now. So it's a different form. So one who meditates on Aruna's form of this description, he is blessed with this kind of poetry with Shringara Rasa. Poetry with Shringara Rasa is the point here. Now, a story is told about this Shringara Rasa, about Kalidasa. Kalidasa is the greatest of poets that we all know, and he was an adornment in the royal assembly of the king Bhojaraja, who himself was a great poet. So once Bhojaraja announced in the assembly that he has composed one half of a verse and he uttered that verse. Kusume kusumotpattihi shruyate nacha drishyate. That is, in a flower, another flower is born. This fact is heard but never seen. This is what he said. That is, the birth of a flower in another flower has only been heard, has never been seen. This is what he said. Then he said, he asked the poets there to complete the poem, the second half of the verse. Kalidasa was there. He could not allow this kind of chance to go without challenge. So he said, he immediately, that is the greatness of Kalidasa. Immediately, he looked at a young, beautiful girl who was next to him and he uttered this shloka, the second half of the shloka. Bale tava mukham bhoje drishtam indivaradvayam. Bale, young girl, tava mukham bhoje. In the lotus of your face, there are two blue lotuses. Indivaradvayam. That is the black eyes. The two eyes are compared to blue lotuses and the face is compared to a lotus, red colored lotus, reddish colored lotus. So we have got a case of two blue colored lotus growing in another lotus. So that was the challenge given by Bhojaraja. So that challenge was successfully met. Bale tava mukham bhoje. Drishtam, it is seen. You see her face. Drishtam indi varadvayam. He said, na, shruyate nacha drishyate, he said. No, it's not correct. You can see right here. This was the challenge. This kind of Shringara Rasa poetry, which Kalidasa is famous for, is possible with the blessings of Aruna Devi, because he said, na, Karunatara Shringara Lahari. So the benefit of every shloka is associated with some high level of benefit. What is the benefit here? Vedagama Jnana, knowledge of Vedas and Agamas. Kavi Indranam Cheta Kamalavana Bala Taparuchim Bhajante Ye Santaha Katichit Aruname Bhavati. Katichit Santaha, only some saints are able to take to this worship. It's not given to everyone. Santaha Katichidaruname Bhavati Virinchi Prejasya Tarunatara Shringara Lahari Gavira Bhir Vagbhir Vedadhati Satam Ranjanamami.
सवित्रीभिर्वाचां शशिमणिशिलाभङ्गरुचिभिः वशिन्याद्याभिस्त्वां सहजननि सञ्चिन्तयति यः सकर्ता काव्यानां भवति महतां भङ्गिरुचिभिः वचोभिर्वाग्देवी वदनकमला मोदमधुरैः.
Now there is another way of worship. Every shloka has got a speciality, isn't it? Special prayoga of worship. Now here we are worshipping Devi surrounded by Vagdevatas. And the benefit of this shloka, this mantra is Vagvilasa and Shastra Jnana. That is proficiency in speech and knowledge of Shastra. Now let us understand this. Savitribhihi Vacham. Now those 8 Vagdevatas are headed by Vashini. Vashini and 7 other Vagdevatas, totally 8. They are Vacham Savitribhihi. They are the generators of expressions, words. Savita is actually a generator of energy for the whole world. Without Surya, nothing will grow. So that is why he is known as Savita. Similarly, Vacham Savitribhihi, the generators of words, those 8 devatas, Vagdevatas, they are the generators of words. Shashi Manishila Bhanga Ruchibhihi. they have a special shine of radiance of their own. Now, this radiance is compared to the Chandrakanta stone, Shashimani Shila. Chandrakanta stone is produced by moon's rays, and when you, like a diamond, when you polish it, similarly, when you break this Chandrakanta stone, it gives even more, even better radiance. That is a bhanga, he says. You slightly break it, polish it, then it gives much better shine, ruchi. Shashi Manishila, Bhanga Ruchi. That is the kind of shine which these Vashinyadi Devatas, Vashini and the other 7 other Vag Devatas are producing. Swam Saha Janani Sanchintayati Yaha Janani, O mother, Swam Vashinyadyabihi Saha. Those who meditate on Sanchintayati, those who meditate, one who meditates on you, O mother, surrounded by these 8 Vagdevatas headed by Vashini, they get a certain benefit. What is the benefit? Sakarta kavyanam bhavati. Saha kavyanam karta bhavati. We said yaha, now it is saha. That person who is worshipping you, surrounded by Vagdevatas, he becomes the writer of epics, kavyas. Kavyanam karta, producer of kavyas. Kavya is not an ordinary thing. Kavya has got lakshanas. There are 18 Kavya lakshanas mentioned in Kavya Shastra. There are Mahakavyas and Laghu Kavyas. Mahakavya, Adi Mahakavya is Ramayana. And then there are other Mahakavyas. There are Pancha Mahakavyas, like Laghuvamsam, Kumara Sambhavam, etc. Naishadam, etc. Now, he becomes, because each Kavya has got a speciality, and Kavyas have got Lakshana. For example, in Valmiki Ramayana, each Sarga, they are all in simple Anushtup Chandas. The verses are in Anushtup Chandas. But every Sarga you will find ends with a couple of shlokas which are in some other Chandas, maybe Shaurdola Kritam, etc. That is a Lakshana for a Kavya. A Kavya which does not fulfill that requirement is not called a Kavya. That is why it is there invariably in all Sargas. So like this, there are other requirements for a Kavya. A Kavya has to have all the rasas. A Kavya should have a Nayaka, a hero. A Kavya should also talk about the general public, not only praising the hero. No. You should talk about the general public, Praja, and you should also talk about the nature. That is very important. Natural beauty, the mountains, the rivers, the greens, all that has to be there. Description. Everything is there in Ramayana, as we know. So that kind of kavyas, this person is able to produce. And the kavyas are now further described very beautifully. Mahatam bhangi rukibhihi. Ruchi. The radiance, the taste, ruchi has got a meaning, both taste as well as radiance, whichever way you take. Bhangi ruchibhi, different types of radiances are coming out from those kavyas. Mahatam, that too of a very lofty level. Very lofty radiances are coming from those kavyas. Bhangiruchibihi, Vachobhihi, Vagdevi, Vadana Kamala Moda Madhuraihi, Bhangiruchibihi, Vachobhihi. The expressions are shedding different types of radiance, beautifying the kavya. And Vagdevi, Vadana, the face of Saraswati Devi. Kamala, face of Saraswati Devi is like a lotus. Kamala Amoda, Amoda is fragrance. Every lotus has got fragrance, isn't it? So the face of Saraswati Devi has also got a fragrance, and that fragrance is actually very sweet. Amoda Madhuraihi, very sweet fragrances emanating from the lotus face of Saraswati is there, is suffused, is filled with in these expressions of in the poems, in the kavyas. So this is the praise of the ability which this person has acquired by worshipping Devi, surrounded by Vagdevatas, has acquired this extraordinary ability of producing extraordinary type of kavyas. Now, these 8 Vagdevatas are, the names are available to us, Vashini and others. So, Vashini, Kameshwari, Modini, Vimala, Aruna, Jayini, Sarveshwari, and Kaulini. And each of these 8 Vagdevatas is associated with a group of letters of the alphabet. Sanskrit alphabet has got 51 letters, as we saw the other day. The first group of vowels, A to Aha, is Vashini's portfolio. Next, Kavarga, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga, that is called Kavarga. That is Kameshwari. Then Chavarga is Mohini. Modini, not Mohini, Modini. Then Tavarga is Vimala. Tavarga is Aruna. Pavarga is Jaini. And Yavarga is Sarveshwari. And Shavarga is Kaulini. Normally we combine Yara, Lava, Shasha, Saha, La, Shatragnya, like that. But here, we should actually stop with Sha. Here actually Ya Varga and Sha Varga have been separated and given to Sarveshwari and Kaulini. Now, as usual, puja procedures elaborately are given for this mantra also. And here, as a speciality, you have different types of puja procedures. You can adopt any one of them. That is, in Sri Chakra, in the Ashtakonam called Sarva Roga Hara Chakram, these 8 Vagdevatas are worshipped. That is one procedure. Another procedure is they are worshipped in different points in the Sri Chakra. 4 in Bindu and Trikona, 4 in Ashtakona, inner Trikona, inner 10 konas, outer 10 konas, and 14 konas, each of these locations. There is a third procedure which is more interesting. Now we were talking about 8 Vagdevatas. Then there are other 12 Yogini Devatas. They can also be included in the worship. So you can get 12 plus 8, 20 Devatas to be worshipped. And all the 20 Devatas are worshipped in the inner 10 and outer 10 konas. This is the third procedure. Like this, there are procedures developed. My yantras are also given. You can, of course, use the Sri Chakra as mentioned here. And mantra is this sloka, how many times you should chant this, what benefit you will get, everything, all details are given for this mantra also, like the other slokas. Savitribhirvacham Shashimanishila Bhangaruchibhihi Vashinyadhyabhiswam Sahajanani Sanchintayati Yaha Sakarta Kavyanam Bhavati Mahatam Bhangiruchibhihi Vachobhirvagdevi Vadana Kamala Moda Madhuraihi.
तनुच्छायाभ्यस्ते तरुणतरणिश्रीसरणिभिः दिवं सर्वामुर्वी मरुणिमणिमग्नां स्मरति यः भवन्त्यस्यत्रस्य द्वनहरिणशालीननयनाः सहोर्वर्ष्यावर्ष्याः कतिकतिनगीर्वाणगणिकाः.
This is another sloka which talks about Shringara. And this is also Aruna Rupa Dhyanam. And the benefit is Kama Jayam. Now, Tanuchayabhihi te Taruna Tarani Shri Saranibhihi Divam Sarvam Urvim Arunimani Magnam Smarati Yaha. Yaha Smarati, one who meditates on you as Divam Sarvam Urvim. Divam is the Swargaloka, Urvi is Bholoka. That means all the universe, Bholoka as well as Swargaloka. Arunimani Magnam, it is bathed in Arunima, bathed in red color. Like that you should meditate. You should meditate as if Devi's red color has pervaded the entire universe, the Swargaloka as well as the Bholoka. Now what kind of Arunima? Tanuchayabhiste Taruna Tarani Shri Saranibhihi Taruna, Tarani, Sri Tarani is Surya. Taruna Tarani, the young Surya, the Bala Surya. The Bala Surya's Tarani means the Kiranas which follow a track. That means the Kiranas of the rays of sun which keep falling on this entire area, which are so brilliant. Shri Tanuchayabhihi, your radiance, the radiance of your form, the subject is radiance of your form, not Surya's rays. The radiance of your form, Devi's form, Tanu means form, body. So Chaya means the radiance. The radiance of your body, your form, has the rays of the rising sun. The rising sun's rays are contained in the radiance of your form. Your form, actually when there is a rising sun, who is giving those rays? Devi is giving those rays. That is the implied meaning. The rays which are produced by the rising sun are actually given by Devi, Aruna Devi. Tanuchayabhiste Taruna Tarani Shri Saranibihi. With those rays, the entire universe is filled with that red color produced by those rays, radiance from your form. Then one who meditates in this manner, what happens to him? Bhavantyasya trastyad vanaharina shalina nayanaha sahor vashyaha katikatina girvana gadikaha. Asya, for this person, girvana gadikaha, swargaloka women of swargaloka, apsaras 3, katikati, how many? I cannot count. Countless. Katikati means how many? Countless. Countless Swargaloka women, Trastyad Vanaharina Shali Inanayanaha. Now they are being described. Their eyes are like the eyes of a female deer, Vanaharina, female wild deer, Vanaharina, forest deer. Female forest deer's eyes, and the deer is afraid. Trasya, because when the deer is afraid, the eyes are even more beautiful. The deer's eyes are beautiful as it is. When it has an expression of fear, then it is even more beautiful. That is the poetic way of saying it. So he says like that. So with those kinds of eyes, these Nirvana Ganikaha, these Purgaloka women, Saha Urvashya Saha, including Urvashya, including Urvashi. Vashyaha bhavanti, they become under his control. They come under his control. Vashyaha bhavanti. Now, why he mentions Urvashi as a separate, separate Apsaras 3? He could have said all Apsaras. He has already mentioned Girvana Ganikaha, which includes Urvashi. Urvashi was not one of the Apsaras 3 before. She joined that group later on. That is why he is mentioning separately. And she has got a very special place. What is special about her? Because when Narayana took the form of Narayana Rishi and Nara Rishi and performed tapas in Badarikashrama, these two rishis became later on Arjuna and Krishna. That is what Mahabharata says. So, in their previous avatara, they were Narayana Rishi and Nara Rishi, and they were performing tapas with Devi as their destination. Hrim, Hrim, Hrim. They were doing the japa. At that time, Devendra, as usual, developed a fear that he knows the identity as Narayana Rishi and Nara Rishi, but somehow you can never trust your understanding of the identity. So he became suspicious. He, as usual, wanted to disturb the tapas. He sent Manmatha, Rati, Vasantaratu, Apsarasri, all of them. Because this tapas was very intense. He knew that you need a very powerful opponent. So he dispatched all of them. They came there to where these people were penancing. They created Vasantaratu, untimely Vasantaratu, and Manmatha, Rati. They were all engaged in dance and music and all kinds of play of love along with the Apsarastri. Then all this commotion disturbed the two rishis. They opened their eyes and then they found what is happening. They immediately understood. It doesn't take time for them. They called those people, you come near. They were all very much afraid. Array, this rishis may curse us. They came anyway. There's no way, no other way. So they came close to the rishis. Then Narayana Rishi said, I know who you are and why you have come. Devendra has dispatched you. You can go back and tell Devendra that you have failed in your mission. But before you go, I want to give you people another gift. And that gift also you take with you and give it to Devendra. Then he struck his right thigh. Uru. Uru is thigh. Narayana Rishi struck his right thigh, and there came Urvashi out of his right thigh. She was produced from Uru, that is why she is known as Urvashi. And she was more beautiful than all the Apsarasas. So they were all stunned. Array, how did this happen? We wanted to come and disturb the tapas of this Rishi. And this Rishi produces the Apsara from his thigh, who is even more beautiful than all of us. So they were stunned. They did not know how to react. Then quietly he handed over Urvashi to them and he said, you take Urvashi also and hand over to Devendra. When this happened, Devendra he could not believe. And he was greatly relieved. Something worse did not happen, something bad did not happen. These people could have been cursed, the group with whom I had stand. I could have also been cursed. Luckily, Narayana Rishi did not pronounce any curse. We are all saved. He was very happy, and at least he, in fact, got the benefit of Urvashi also joining the Apsara group. In fact, there are a lot of stories about Urvashi coming down to earth and spending time with a king called Pururavas. It is there even in Veda. And there are other incidents connected with Urvashi. So Urvashi has got a special place among Apsara, that's why he is mentioning that. Now this is how it is. Now why he is giving importance to this Shringara, purely Shringara, Adi Shankara, when he was talking about serious matters. Now, this is only to emphasize, like it was emphasized in earlier shloka, when we said these women run after him with Anudhavanti, we said. Similar to that, here it's a similar thought. Why he is coming back to that is, this Jnani who is worshipping, he has already become a Jnani after having worshipped Aruna Devi. He has already become a Jnani. So, many a number of Apsarasas are not going to disturb him, they are not going to confuse him, delude him. So, he is free, he is much above all this. But these Apsarasas are running after him, they are under his sway. But he is not under their sway, that is clearly mentioned here. Asya Vashyaha Bhavanti, they come under his sway, but it doesn't say that he comes under their sway, which is normally the case, isn't it? Vishwamitra came under the sway of Menaka, isn't it? So that is not the case here. So that is important. Devi Mahatmyam also says, Triyastamastaha Tavadevi Bhedaha. All women on earth are only your own forms. Tavadevi Bhedaha. So when that is the teaching to us, and what will be the level of this Jnani? Naturally, he has already reached the highest level of Jnana. So all this Shangara doesn't appeal to him. So one who meditates on you as bathing this entire universe, including Sargaloka and Bhuloka, in red color, in Arunima, with the radiances emanating from your form, similar to the brilliant rays of the Balasurya, for him, which Apsara Sri will not be under his sway? He is putting it like a question. Kati Kati. How many Apsara Sris will not be under his sway? All Apsara Sris are under his sway. They have beautiful eyes of the forest deer, forest female deer, who is under the sway of fear. That kind of beauty of the eyes. And those Apsarasas, including Urvashi, come under his sway. That is what he says. Tanuchayadhiste taruna tarani shri tarani bihi Divam sarva murvim arunimani magnam smaratiyaha bhavantyasyatrasyadvanaharina shalina nayanaha Sahor Vashya Vashya Kati Katina Girvana Gadikaha. Like other mantras, here also there is a procedure, puja, yantra, etc. For every sloka it is there. Next.
मुखं बिन्दुं कृत्वा कुचयुगमधस्तस्य तदधो हरार्धं ध्यायेद्यो हरमहिषिते मन्मथकलाम् ससद्य संक्षोभं नयति वनिता इत्यतिलघु त्रिलोकीमप्याशुभ्रमयति रवीन्दुस्तनयुगाम्.
This sloka refers to a very special, very secretive, very esoteric puja procedure called, is very different from all the other puja procedures which we have seen before. This is called Kamakala Dhyanam. Very special, given to only highly specialized sadhakas. Highly specialized gurus can only teach this. In fact, it's so sacred that it is not normally published, but since Adi Shankara has referred to it here in this sloka, we are touching upon it. And the benefit of this mantra is Kama Jayam, like the previous one. Now, there is a mantra called Kama Kala, Bijakshara. The three essential Bijaksharas of Devi are Aim, Hreem, Kleem. Aim is Vagbija, associated with Saraswati Devi. Hreem, we have seen before, Chintamani Bija of Devi herself. And Kleem is called Kamaraja Bija, associated with Manmatha. Manmatha Kalam, he says here, in this second line of this verse, that Manmatha Kala is this Kamaraja Bija. Kleem. Now, in this Kleem also, they separate the last part, Eem. They separate the last part, Eem, and that is the real Kamakala Bijam. Kamakala Bijam. That is where you are now going to pray. You are going to worship that Eem, that Bijakshara. Now, the interesting point here is this Bijakshara, when it is written in Devanagari script or in Grantha script, which was before, it will not give you the kind of description which is given in this sloka. Now, there is a lipi called Sharada Lipi, which was there in Kashmir. Now, not many are aware of that. It is being revived now through the efforts of our Acharya Swamiji, who is reviving a lot of things which have become extinct in Kashmir. One of them is Sharada Lipi. Now, like so many other Grishya Sutra, Veda, etc., Sharada Lipi is also being resuscitated. Now, in Sharada Lipi, when you write this Eem, it will be exactly like what is being described here. So, maybe in Adi Shankara's time, Sharada was the Lipi, which was being, or similar Lipi, which was being used. So, there you will find a dot on top, then two dots below that, and a triangle below that. That is how Eem is represented in Sharada Lipi. Now, the same thing is being given here, which is associated with the form of Devi. This is how you have to worship. As I said, highly esoteric. Mukham bindum kritva kuchayugam adhastasya tadadho harardham dhyayete. This is the jhana. Mukham bindum kritva. The dot which is on the top of this Eem letter is the face of Devi. Kuchayugam adhaha. Then there are two dots below the first dot. All this part of same letter E. Eem. Now, the two dots you associate with the two breasts. Kuchayugam adhaha. Tasya tadadadaha harardham tat adhaha. Even below that, harardham, the half of Shiva, that is the yoni, because we are assuming it is Ardhanarishwara form. That is why he says hara ardham. So that yoni, which is the triangle which was there in the Lipi, Sharada Lipi, Eem, that triangle you worship in the Yoni Peetam. Yo dhyayete, one who meditates like this, Haramahishi, oh consort of Parameshwara, te manmathakalam, those who worship like this, with Manmathakala Bijakshara, De Sasadyaha Sanshobham Nayati Vanita Ityati Laghu. That person immediately brings about delusion in all the women. To say this is something very ordinary. Iti ati laghu. It is very, very simple to say that this person who has worshipped Devi in this manner, in this Kamakala Dhyana procedure, he attracts all women, he creates agitation in all women. To say this is something very, very simple. He does something much more than that. What is that? Trilokim apyashu brahmayati ravindustana yugam. Ravi and Indu, that is Surya and Chandra, or the two breasts of Devi who pervades the entire universe, Trilokim, all the three worlds. He becomes that Devi, Ashu Brahmayati. He confuses that Devi, he deludes that Devi. To say that he deludes that Devi is a form of saying that he becomes the Devi. The Devi gets so much deluded. By the time she gets deluded, he joins her. That is, he attains Devi Sayudyam. That is the benefit of this. This is also mentioned by Adi Shankara in Devi Bhujangam. In fact, there, instead of one shloka, here he is allotting two shlokas for explaining the same description, Kamakala Dhyana. And in the second shloka, he says, one who worships Devi with this Kamakala Dhyanam never is born out of a mother again. He says this. That means there is no rebirth for him. So, this is the speciality of this Kamakala Dhyanam. Very special, and it has been introduced in this Saundarya Lahari, maybe because the Adi Shankara did not want anything to be excluded. One. Number two, he maybe wanted that everything should be recorded in one place in some outline form at least, so that it remains for posterity. No, it's not given to everyone, obviously. The entire Saundarya Lahari procedures are not given to everyone. And this definitely not given to everyone. He knows that, but still he is introducing it for the sake of preserving it. Mukham bindum krutva kucha yugamadhastasya tadadho harardham dhyayedyo haramahishite manmathakalam. So you meditate on this Kamabija in this manner, on the various parts of Devi's form. Sasadyaha sanshobham nayati vanita yityati laghu. To say that he attracts women is a very understatement. Trilokimapyashu Brahmayati Ravindustana Yuga. He deludes even Devi who pervades all the universe and who has Surya Chandra. And Surya and Chandra are referred as eyes, referred as breasts here, and that is Devi's form. Let's go to the next one.
किरन्ति मङ्गेभ्यः किरणनिकुरुम्बामृतरसं हृदि त्वामाधत्ते हिमकरशिलामूर्तिमिव यः ससर्पाणां दर्पं शमयति शकुन्ताधिप इव ज्वरप्लुष्टान् दृष्ट्या सुखयति सुधाधारसिरया.
Now this Shloka mantra is called Garuda Prayoga, the Prayoga of Garuda. Now, the benefit is you will be relieved of all poisons and all fevers, Sarva Visha Sarva Jara Nivaranam. Because Garuda is the enemy of all serpents, so you will become like Garuda, so you can destroy all poisons, all fevers, etc. So for that also there is a puja procedure, and he is giving it an outline of that. Kiranti mangebhyaha kirana nikurumba amritarasam hriditvam adhatte himakara shila murti mivayaha yaha hriditvam adhatte. One who meditates on you in his heart Himakarashila Murtimiba, like a Chandrakanta stone, the form of a Chandrakanta stone. Why he is bringing Chandrakanta stone? Because of the radiance, the special cool radiance which it sheds along with the rays of Amrita, because Chandra sheds rays of Amrita, and this Devi is called Amriteshwari. This Devi whom we are now meditating upon is called Amriteshwari. So she is shedding Amrita, and that is why he is saying Chandrakanta stone. Chandrakanta stone sheds rays of Amrita and very cool and very radiant. Kirantim Angebhya Kirana Nikurumba Amritarasam. Angebhya Kirantim, from her limbs, Devi from her limbs is shedding Amrita Rasa. Kirana Nikurumba Amrita Rasa. Kirana Nikurumba is heap of Kirana, heap of rays. She is shedding heap of rays which contain Amrita Rasa. Heap of rays containing Amrita Rasa. She is shedding from her limbs, various limbs. That is Devi. That is how you should meditate. See, the procedure for meditating is given here. This is how you should meditate on Amriteshwari, and she is like a Chandrakanta stone. One who does that, he gets the benefit which is given in the second half of the verse, like as usual, as in the previous verse. Sarpanam darpam shamayati. He becomes like Garuda, Shakunta Adhipayeva. Shakunta Adhipa is Garuda, the king of birds. Shakunta is birds, king of birds. Like lion is the king of animals, Mrigadhipa. Similarly here, Garuda is Shakunta Adhipa. Like a Garuda, this person, Sarpanam darpam shamayati, he destroys the pride of serpents. He destroys the pride of serpents, arrogance of serpents. Means what? By his mere look, sarpas will run away. Jara prashtan drishtya sukhayati sudhadhara siraya. So one who is afflicted with sarpa's poison, by his mere look, that poison will go away from his form, and Jara prashtan, even if he is afflicted with jara, fever, any type of fever, that fever will go away and he will become comfortable by his mere look, drishtya, by his mere look, sukhayati, he brings about comfort. How? Sudhadhara siraya, by sending Amrita dhara through his veins, through his veins. Through the veins of the patient, he sends Amrita dhara, because he has already acquired that power by meditating on Amriteshwari. That is how this Amrita is common. The Amriteshwari was shedding Amrita through her countless rays. So he has got all that Amrita in his own body, in his own form. So he is able to transfer that Amrita through the veins of this patient who is suffering from fever or who is suffering from poison of the serpent. Well, this is called Garuda Prayoga because Garuda is the one who is mentioned here. And when Vishnu was afflicted with the Halahala poison, all devas were afflicted, all devas could not simply control the affliction. They started running towards Parameshwara, and Vishnu also became black. He was already black, he became more black. That is how Purana describes this thing. And then what he did, he used this Garuda Prayoga. He prayed to Amriteshwari, and then he got rid of this poisonous feeling. One who meditates like this for 6 months, that is what the commentators have said. 6 months if you meditate with that proper procedure, yantra, mantra, etc., using this as mantra, this shloka as mantra, for 6 months if you do, you will become like Garuda, like what is mentioned here. And if you just do Parayana for 16 times, only 16 times Parayana, and then you sanctify Abhimantranam of Vibhuti or Tirtham. You sanctify Vibhuti or Tirtham by chanting this mantra only 16 times, not 6 months and all that, only 16 times. And then you offer this Vibhuti or Tirtha to a patient, he will get cured. This is what the commentators have said. Seriers has said this. Very great. Only 16 times, nothing very difficult. You chant this mantra 16, no procedure, no yantra, no tantra, no nothing. And that is all for Sri Chakra Puja, which is given to that for the one who wants to do 6 months and wants to become like a Garuda with permanent power in him. That is a different thing. Now, if you want to temporarily acquire this power and cure some patient, do this immediate relief. You chant this 16 times, take Vibhuti and Tirtha, sanctify that and give it to him, apply the Vibhuti on his body or make him drink the Tirtha, he will become cured completely. So this is Garuda Prayoga. So one who meditates on you as Chandrakanta stone, shedding from your various limbs, Amrita Rasa, like a group of rays coming out from your body, like that, one who meditates like that, he, like Garuda, he is able to destroy the pride of all serpents, Sarpanam, all serpents. There are several types of serpent. You may say, no, this serpent is nobody can do. No, there is no serpent which is beyond his capacity because he has become like Garuda. For Garuda, there is no serpent. When during in Ramayana, when both Rama and Lakshmana were bound by Nagapasha, Garuda came there, isn't it? What can be greater serpent power than that Nagapasha, which Indrajit had used against Rama and Lakshmana? Nothing could have been greater, isn't it? He would have definitely used the highest powered Nagapasha. And that Nagapasha was powerless in front of Garuda. So, you will become like Garuda, you will destroy the pride of all serpents, and by your mere look, you will relieve, you will bring comfort to those who are suffering from fever and poison of serpents through sending out the Amrita Dhara through the veins of that patient. Kiranti mangebhyaha kirana nikurumba amrita rasam priditva madhatte himakarashila murti mevayah tasarpanam darpam shamayati shakunta dhipayive jara prushtan drishtya sukhayati sudhadhara siraya.
तटिल्लेखा तन्वीं तपनशशिवैश्वानरमयीं निषण्णां षण्णामप्युपरि कमलानां तव कलाम् महापद्माटव्यां मृदितमलमायेन मनसा महान्तः पश्यन्तो दधति परमाह्लादलहरीम्.
Mahantaha, only great people can achieve what is mentioned here, naturally. Because now we have come back to the Shat Chakra Bhedanam, the 6 chakras in the body, and he has achieved the breaking off of the 6 chakras, taking Kundalini Devi to the Sahasrara Chakra, because what he is describing here is Devi in Sahasrara Chakra. Now it is not given to everyone, so that is why he says Mahantaha Pashyantaha. It is seen only by great people. Now, what is it that they see? What is the beauty of Devi they see? This benefit of this shloka is Sarva Vashikaram, Sarva Ahlādakaram. You can bring under your sway anyone and you can bring happiness to everyone. Sarva Ahlādakaram. Ahlāda is highest level of happiness. In Radha Krishna it is said, Radha is Ahlādakari, the source of Ahlāda for Krishna. Krishna is the source of Ahlāda for Radha. Same is for Shiva Shakti. So Ahlāda is used in that kind of context. So that kind of Ahlāda you can produce in everyone if you get this power by chanting this mantra. Now, what is the description of Devi? Tatillekha tanvim sapana shashi vaishvanaраmayim. Sapana, Shashi, Vaishwanara, Surya, Chandra and Agni. Surya and Chandra, Agni, Mayim. That is, her form itself is Surya, Chandra and Agni. That means the brilliance of Surya, the coolness of Chandra, and the special radiance of Agni, the red-colored radiance, which is associated only with Agni. These three are present in Devi. Not only that, Tatillekha Tanvim. In her form, there are lines of lightning, Satil-lekha. Now, normally lightning is supposed to be only fraction of a second, isn't it? It just comes and goes. But here, in the case of Devi in Sahasrara Chakra, it is there permanently. It is a very interesting observation made by the commentators. They say that this is Sthira Saudamini, permanent lightning, as opposed to Kshana Saudamini, the same Devi appears in Kshana Saudamini form in Ajna Chakra, because that is the path you have taken, isn't it? When you took that Kundalini Devi through six chakras, the last was the Ajna Chakra. So in the Ajna Chakra, Devi gives you similar radiance, but the lightning type radiance is only for a second, Kshana Saudam. But here it is Thira, permanent. षण्णामपि षण्णामपि उपरि कमलानां तव कलाम. Now all this form of Devi is only one aspect of Devi. That is, Devi's form is beyond our imagination, beyond our words, beyond whatever you may describe. You can never exhaust saying, no, no, this is Devi's form. You can never do that. So that is why he is using the word kala. That means an aspect, a part of your form is what I am seeing in Sahasrara Chakra. Shannam Kamalanam Api Upari, because all these six chakras, each of them is a lotus, isn't it? Of different numbers of petals, 2, 4, 6, 16, we have seen. So over, above all the six Kamala chakras, Maha Padma Nishannam, you are seated in Maha Padma Atavi, which is what is the description in Sri Puram, isn't it? Sudha Sagara Madhyastha, in the middle of Amrita Sagara, in a place called Manidvipa, in middle of Mahapadma Atavi, that is the forest of large lotuses, and then Kadambhavana, then there is a Chintamani Griha, there Devi is seated. That is the description of Sri Puram, isn't it? So, same here. Sri Puram is, that Sri Chakram is same as Sri Puram, and they are same in Kundalini Yoga also. In Sahasrara, when you are experiencing that, the experience is exactly the same. So that sameness is being emphasized by using the same term. Maha Padmatavyam Nishanlam. You are seated in that forest of great lotuses. And how should one meditate? How does one meditate? Instead of how does one meditate? Because he has already crossed the six chakras and he is now in the final stage. That means he has already got all his impurities removed. He is now full of jnana. When he says full of amrita rasa is jnana, isn't it? So, mridita mala mayena manasa, his mind is already cleared of all mala and maya. Mridita is removed. Mala and maya. Mala is impurity. Impurity is durvasanas, which we have seen in detail earlier. It come to us from birth to birth, from in crores of janmas, we have accumulated those impurities. Those impurities are gone in no time now. Maya is something which is constantly with us as long as you hold the human body, because Maya is delusion. Thinking that body is real, that is Maya. Thinking that body, mind, etc. are real, and not thinking that Devi, who is occupying our body, who is giving Shakti to our body, is only real. All these are mithya, false. That is jnana. So that jnana has now come to him. So Maya has left him. Maya was the affliction with him all these days till he performed this yoga. So Mridita Malama Yena Manasa, this is a qualification for him now. For his mind, there is a qualification given. Now he has completely got removed this Mala and Maya, this impurity and delusion. Mahantaha, naturally they qualify to be called great people. Pashyantaha Dadhati Paramakhlada Laharim. When they look at this form, Pashyantaha, when these great people look at this form, what happens to them? Paramakhlada Laharim Dadhati. They experience the wave of supreme happiness. Well, it doesn't have to be said. The entire Saundarya Lahari is full of that. But he is emphasizing that because this is the supreme experience of akhlada, of happiness. Supreme happiness That too, not in one standard frame of happiness. It comes in waves. It comes in waves, Lahari. So you think that you have attained the highest level of happiness. Next moment, the happiness level you attain is even higher. That is the wave. So this is what he gets. Mahantaha, Pashyantaha. Those great people who have this vision, they experience this Paramaklada Lahari. So Devi is described as seated in Mahapadma Atavi, the great lotus forest, on the top of the six Kamala Chakras, and she is of the form of Surya, Chandra, and Agni, that is the radiance, and she has got streaks of lightning permanently on her form. One who meditates in this manner, he is cleared of all impurities and all Maya, and those great people who have this kind of vision, experience supreme happiness, waves of supreme happiness. What more can be said? I think it's the highest which can be said. Yatillekha tanvim tapana shashi vaishwanaramayim nishannam shannamapyupari kamalanam tabakalam mahapadmatavya mridita malamayena manasa Mahanta Pashyanto Dadhati Paramakhladaharim. Now there are procedures given like other shlokas. For this also Upasana Paddhati is given. I'll briefly go through that. You have a Shatkona and a Bindu in the center of the Shatkona, and on top of that Bindu you establish a lamp lighted with five sides, with five faces, five flames. And there you invoke Devi and do puja and chant this sloka 100 times or 300 times daily or on Fridays or on Paurnami days. This is the recommendations are given for this puja. And this dhyana is all like other dhyanas, also antarmukha, but a bhakya procedure is given for all, because what was given as Mahantaha, Pashyantaha, that is only antarmukha, isn't it? Samayachara, mental, manasika puja. But for every manasika puja, there is also, because everyone is not capable of manasika puja, so the commentators in their compassion have established Bhashya Sri Chakra Puja or other chakras, other yantras, they have recommended for doing puja. This is the recommendation for this. So are we close for the day? And any questions?
Yes, Mama, one question.
Or Aruna Devi praised in Shloka 16 and Vagdevi Aruna referred in Shloka 17, the same or different? 1 minute. 16 and 17. 16 is that Aruna, 17 is also Devi, but there is no mention of Aruna here. It is a mention of Shashimani Shila Bhanga Ruchibihi. The emphasis on Vagdevis here. It's not Aruna. Nowhere it is mentioned as Aruna. I don't think I mentioned as Aruna also. Just a minute. Let me confirm it. 1 minute. No, I don't think I mentioned Aruna anytime. Aruna is coming in the next one, 18. Shloka 18, again we go back to Aruna. 16 was Aruna, 18 is Aruna, 17 there is no Aruna. Devi surrounded by Vagdevatas is what is mentioned in this. Of course, we had a puja procedure where we added 12 more yoginis and we made the number 20. That's a specific puja procedure, but there's no Aruna Devi here. Okay, so we close for the day and wishing you all the best. I invite you to join me in this Jnana Yajna Satsanga Saundarya Lahari Bliss tomorrow evening at 6:30 IST as usual. Nama Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Sri Raja Rajeshwarye Jaya Jaya.